Karen's voice sliced through the humid air like a dull knife, shrill and unrelenting. "That's my Corvette, you little punk," she bellowed, her chins wobbling as she jabbed a manicured finger at the gleaming red car parked in the lot. The audacity was almost laughable, but the young man standing by the driver's door, Jake, felt his stomach churn with rage. It was a Saturday afternoon, and the community center parking lot was supposed to be a quiet place for Jake to show off his pride, enjoy a 2019 Corvette Stingray he'd saved for over 5 years to buy. He'd just finished wiping down the hood, the car sparkling under the Florida sun, when Karen and her sister, Linda, waddled over, their matching floral blouses screaming HOA board meeting chic. Karen, the ringleader, had a reputation in the neighborhood for terrorizing everyone with her endless complaints about lawn ornaments and mailbox colors. Linda, her quieter but equally venomous sidekick, always nodded along like a bobblehead on a dashboard. "You heard me," Karen snapped, stepping closer, her bulk casting a shadow over Jake. "I parked my Corvette here last night, and you're trying to steal it." Her eyes narrowed, glinting with the kind of self-righteous fury that could only come from someone who believed the world owed her everything. Linda chimed in, her voice a nasal echo. "We've got proof, you know. Don't make this harder than it needs to be." Jake blinked, his grip tightening on his keys. "Your Corvette? Lady, I've got the title, the registration, and the payment receipts for this car. You're out of your mind." He tried to keep his tone steady, but the absurdity of the situation was pushing him to the edge. He'd dealt with Karens before demanding he move his car because it was too flashy for the neighborhood, but this was a new level of delusional. Karen smirked, undeterred, and pulled out her phone, waving it like a weapon. "I've got photos of my car in this exact spot. You think you can just waltz in here and take what's mine? I'm calling the cops." Her fingers fumbled with the screen, and Jake caught a glimpse of a blurry photo that could have been any red car. Linda nodded vigorously, muttering about entitled millennials and justice. The parking lot was starting to draw a crowd. A few neighbors lingered near their cars, pretending not to stare, while a teenage girl across the lot started filming with her phone, her giggles barely audible. Jake's heart pounded. He wasn't worried about the carrot was his, legally and undeniably, but the thought of dealing with Karen's theatrics in front of an audience made his skin crawl. He took a deep breath, trying to channel calm. "Go ahead, call the cops. Let's see what they say when they check the VIN." Karen's face twisted into a sneer. "Oh, you're gonna regret this, kid. You don't know who you're messing with." She dialed 911 with exaggerated flair, her voice dripping with fake panic as she spoke to the dispatcher. "Yes, officer, there's a thief trying to take my car. He's right here, threatening me." Linda gasped dramatically, clutching her purse like she was auditioning for a soap opera. Jake's jaw clenched. He glanced at the Corvette, its curves gleaming innocently in the chaos. This car was more than metal, and paint it was his dream, his reward for years of overtime at the garage, skipping vacations, and eating instant noodles to save every penny. He wasn't about to let two entitled sisters ruin it with their lies. "You're digging your own grave here," he said, loud enough for the growing crowd to hear. "This is my car, and I can prove it." The security guard, a burly man named Tom who'd seen his fair share of HOA drama, approached cautiously. "All right, folks, let's calm down," he said, his hands raised like he was negotiating a hostage situation. Karen spun on him, her voice hitting a new octave. "Calm down? This delinquent is stealing my property, and you're telling me to calm down?" Tom's eyebrows shot up, but he stayed quiet, clearly sensing the storm he was walking into. Minutes later, a police cruiser rolled into the lot, its lights flashing lazily. Two officers stepped out, a seasoned veteran named Officer Daniels and a younger rookie who looked like he'd rather be anywhere else. Karen launched into her performance before they could even ask a question, her arms flailing as she recounted her fabricated tale of woe. "This boy stole my Corvette. I parked it here last night, and now he's claiming it's his. I demand you arrest him." Jake stood his ground, his voice steady but laced with frustration. "Officers, this is my car. I've got all the paperwork in the glove box, and the key fob in my hand unlocks it. These women are lying. He held up the fob for emphasis, pressing the button. The Corvette's lights blinked, and the doors unlocked with a satisfying click. Karen's face flushed red, but she doubled down, insisting the fob was stolen too. Officer Daniels, who'd clearly dealt with Karen's before, sighed and asked for Jake's documents. Jake handed over the registration and title, both clearly in his name. The rookie checked the VIN on the car against the paperwork, nodding to Daniels. "Matches up," the rookie said. Karen's eyes widened, and for the first time, a flicker of doubt crossed her face. But Karen wasn't one to back down. "That's forged," she shrieked, pointing at the papers. "He's a criminal. You can't trust him." Linda piped up. "We're respected members of the HOA. We don't lie." The crowd murmured, some shaking their heads, others stifling laughs. The teenage girl with the phone was now live streaming, her commentary barely audible but clearly gleeful. Daniels turned to Karen, his patience visibly thinning. "Ma'am, do you have any documentation proving this is your car?" Karen stammered, fumbling with her phone again, but the blurry photo she produced was laughed off by the rookie. "That could be a rental car from 2005, he muttered, earning a glare from Karen. The situation unraveled quickly from there. Jake's paperwork was airtight, and the officer's demeanor shifted from neutral to suspicious as they questioned the sisters. Karen's story fell apart under scrutiny. She couldn't produce a title, a key, or even a coherent timeline of when she'd allegedly parked her Corvette. Linda, sensing the tide turning, started backpedaling, claiming she was just supporting her sister. Then came the bombshell. Tom, the security guard, chimed in. "I saw these two circling the lot last night, taking pictures of this car," he said, pointing at the Corvette. "I thought it was weird, but I didn't think they'd try something like this." The crowd gasped, and the teenage girl's camera zoomed in, capturing Karen's face as it turned a sickly shade of purple. Officer Daniels' expression hardened. "So you're saying you tried to claim this car as your own, knowing it wasn't?" Karen sputtered, her bravado crumbling. "Two thought it was mine. It's an honest mistake." But the officers weren't buying it. The rookie pulled out handcuffs, and Daniels read the sisters their rights, charging them with attempted theft and filing a false police report. As Karen and Linda were led to the cruiser, the crowd erupted in whispers and scattered applause. Karen's shouts of "This is an outrage" echoed across the lot, but they were drowned out by the sound of justice being served. Jake stood by his Corvette, his heart still racing but a small smile creeping onto his face. The teenage girl stopped filming, giving him a thumbs up. "That was epic," she said, uploading the video with the caption, "HOA Karen's busted." In the days that followed, the video went viral, racking up millions of views and sparking heated debates about entitlement and accountability. Karen and Linda faced community backlash, their HOA reign of terror finally crumbling under the weight of their own hubris. Jake, meanwhile, drove his Corvette with a little extra pride, knowing he'd stood up to the bullies and won. The incident became a neighborhood legend, a reminder that even the loudest, most self-righteous voices can't drown out the truth. It wasn't just about a carrot, it was about standing up to those who think they can take what's not theirs, who believe their bluster makes them untouchable. For Jake, it was a victory not just for him, but for everyone who'd ever been pushed around by a Karen. The end.